Okay, here we are with another exciting podcast from the Social Media Cowboys. You're going to introduce yourself, so be ready. I am Chris Hoke.
And I am
Go ahead.
and I am Sam Hersh.
What do you do, Sam Hersh? What do you own? What do you do? You do a thing. What's your thing?
Beacon Pay Solutions. So we do credit card processing and other financial services.
All right, DJ isn't going to be with us again this week. The flu bug going around, his whole house has had it. So this is week 2. Hopefully he's the last one to get in his house, so he'll be back on the show next week. So you only got me. You drew the short straw, buddy.
All right.
You got just me this week. So he'll get better soon. We love you, DJ. Get better soon.
Absolutely.
So, credit card processing. We're going to hold that. Let's put a pin in that because that's an amazingly interesting thing. And you're going to wow us with it?
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I'd rather talk about a few other things.
Absolutely.
I think you probably know what the first thing I'm going to bring up is, don't you?
I'm left guessing.
You're left guessing.
Yeah.
How many kids you got,
Sam? You are going to go there.
I'm going to go there. How many kids does Sam have?
Well, you want to count the one that's on the way?
I want to count. Yeah, because he's here. In my eyes, that's a baby.
Absolutely.
It's here.
Yeah, that's 9.
It's just got to go to the other side of the wall.
That's 9.
It's just stuck in the wall.
That's right.
Yeah, 9.
9.
So there's 9 kiddos.
Yeah.
Do the names.
All right, so it's Nathan, Dossie, Hosea, Joseph, Benjamin, Alexis, Elise, and Abby, and one on the way. We don't know who that is yet.
When you name them off like that, do you always go from age?
Dossie. I better count, right? somebody's gonna pause it and go back and count. Make sure I got the right number.
Well, do you have a method when you round them off? Do you go from oldest to youngest?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would have to too, I think.
Yeah, and when we get in the car, it's like roll call. You gotta, and you do roll call, and you like count on your fingers to make sure you don't leave anybody behind.
The oldest is, the youngest is not quite here yet, so the youngest is 0.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest is
20.
20
down to 4.
Okay.
He'll be 5 when the new one comes. So.
Okay. And the oldest is he's doing his own thing now, right?
Yeah.
So
grown and flown.
So you have, counting the baby, you have 8 in the house.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And slowly they'll go out in a line. Slowly.
Yeah.
Are we going to do more after new baby?
No. This
will be officially
my quiver is full.
Yeah. One quiver is full.
How many arrows can you fit in a quiver? I need to look into that.
But you came from a certain size family, which was pretty normal.
3 kids.
3 kids. I've got 3 kids.
Mom wanted a big family, just didn't work out that way. So
yeah, that happens. I honestly, in all honesty, and I love all my children. I love all my children equally. Yeah. But of the 3, only one was planned.
Right.
Judo, when me and Trish got together. She was told, having kids was an issue for her. So we're like, okay, well, it's not an issue for her.
Yeah.
She had a kiddo. And so anyway, I had 3, but I don't know if even at 3, I never really planned with her. It just sort of happened that way. Yeah. But 9. Yeah. You don't get the 9 accidentally, do you? Do you get the 9 accidentally?
No, but I'll just say that we expected it was 8. So.
Oh, the number 9 may be a little bit of an accident.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's never an accident. It must have been in the plan of the man upstairs. So.
Of course.
But and we're pretty excited, but we were pretty shocked. I'll say that. So.
Yeah. And you didn't really break this news until recently to a lot of people, at least to the group that
Yeah, we kind of kept it under our hat for a while.
Yeah.
But as you can see, you saw Casey today. It's a little hard to hide at this point.
You can't hide it. No. And they're all gorgeous. All your kids are like gorgeous.
Thank you.
They're like little poster kids. You got. I'm assuming the baby will be gorgeous. There's no reason not to assume the baby will be gorgeous. So you got like 9 little like They look like stock photo kids. That's how good cute they are. Really, they
well,
are.
you're kind.
There's have you have little you have 9 stock photo kids.
Well, it's their mom. I'll say that.
Yeah, you have 9 kids. You had to think she was cute.
Absolutely.
You couldn't stay away, man.
Hey, I married my childhood sweetheart.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I know the kids. That we got that out there, but the next thing I think is interesting about you. You have a whole list of things that are interesting about you, but
You only know part of the list.
Yes, we keep pulling back layers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Let's go. Okay. Well, we'll put a pin in that too.
Okay.
And come back to it. What's the next thing about you I want to bring up? Do you think?
Music? I don't know.
There we go.
All right.
So, can you build a violin?
I can. Yeah, I've built a couple, restored hundreds. So.
What kind of wood do you like? Where do you get the wood to build a violin?
So the back and neck are maple.
Okay.
But it's got to be the right maple. It's got to be quarter sawn. But even the right maple, I mean, you've got to go through and pick wood that's good acoustically. The top spruce. Yeah. And so typically the European sources are still the best.
Okay.
I think. But
you have to have that imported from.
Yeah.
There's like resources
it's like
for
a
that?
wedge of wood. Oh yeah, there's businesses. That's all they do is supply violin makers.
Really?
Yeah.
So a conservative violin, not like one that you would have like fine etching in or something, just a violin. What would that cost from 0 to finished in general? You think?
To
hand
make? What is it like in materials?
Just whatever. I mean, if I like, hey, I will write you a check, make me a violin.
Oh, you want to buy a violin?
And you're gonna make it. You're gonna order the parts and pieces and make it.
Let's get your signature.
What is it?
For a basic violin, I mean, it's not going to be basic if it's handmade.
Sure, of course.
But without some of the extras, probably minimum 5,000.
That's actually. That'd be worse than that.
Yeah, once you gain a name, a real following. I mean, there's a guy in Austin that I know that's getting 30,000 for his violins. Who got like 70,000 for a cello.
So who buys that? An institution, or do these the people?
No,
just,
people
just individuals that have that kind of money.
I mean, you look at the trades. People spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, at least tens of thousands of dollars on their tools.
Yeah.
So for somebody that's in a symphony or something, or even if they're not,
okay.
If it's the way they make their living playing gigs or whatever, it can be worth it.
Well, okay, so if that case, say we'll split the difference between you and the 30,000. Say it's a $15,000 violin, and but I make 40 a year playing. Then it's okay to get a loan and pay that thing out for
totally
3-4 years, whatever.
That's your entire tool set.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm just sitting here thinking it's just like a rich man's thing to
well,
but it's not.
Sometimes it is, but yeah, at that level it's not. At that level, as outrageous as it sounds, when you look at spending 30,000 in equipment, whether that's for if your business is video or whatever.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that you can drop that kind of money fast.
Oh yeah, I mean, for us, obviously, it's all about computers.
Yeah.
So DJ, makes his. I mean, he's
there. You go.
He's the maker guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea what his would cost if it was made for an individual. He knows how to make his own, so he just is out parts.
Yeah.
I'm a Mac guy, so I always go, and I don't order the Mac that's just go to Best Buy. I order the Mac that has all the added stuff.
Yeah.
So I had to finance my last Mac and actually last 2 Macs.
Same deal. And let's not forget the bow. The bow is its own expense. You can spend more on the bow than the violin sometimes.
What's that string made out of?
Horsehair.
It really is horsehair?
Yeah.
Like the tail?
Yeah.
From the tail?
Yeah.
Really?
I rehair bows, so
yeah.
It's actual hair.
Is it like
you burn the end? It smells like burning hair.
Really?
It's hair.
So you take it and you thread it together and make one stronger.
Yeah, you've got to sort it. You want to get the rough hairs out and comb it, get it nice and straight, tie the ends, seal the ends. But yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Some guys will put all the thin ends one direction, the thick the other, and then other guys will swap. Each hair is swapped.
How do you determine this?
Like
the
thin
feel?
end, the thick end? It's obvious.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, unlike a horse, because it's from the tail. Mm-hmm. So, and at the base, they're pretty coarse, and at the tip, they just go to almost nothing, so.
Okay.
To the point where you have to get rid of some of that length.
So to collect this hair, you have there's a horse farm for violins?
Oh, I have 3,000 horses on the, no. No, there's special breeds that grow extra long hair. And also fine and consistency. Wow. All of that's a big deal. So most of it used to all come out of Siberia. Now there's a bunch out of Mongolia too.
Now we're getting into this is an international deal.
Oh, yeah.
Making a violin international.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, we're not counting the ebony and rosewood and stuff like this that comes from Africa and South America.
Can I ask you a really dumb question? I mean, it's a stupid
try
question.
It, it's probably not possible.
So, when you see these shows and they have like the see-through violin and it's like electrified with neon light and stuff, is that like just showy crap or is that like a quality violin still?
That can be quality.
Yeah.
That's my next thing. That's on my.
Is it some kind of a clear polymer thing?
Some are. Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think it is. Yeah, it's probably some kind of. Plastic something.
But that's your next one you want to get?
I want to get an electric violin big time.
Really?
I know what one I want and everything.
Electric violin?
Yeah, I was going to get an electric violin and ran across an amazing deal on a acoustic violin. I couldn't pass it up.
Yeah?
So I spent my money on it.
So what's a song that would have an electric violin that would be easily recognized? I don't even know if I know what electric violin sounds like.
I mean, so you're familiar with Lindsay Sterling?
That name's familiar.
Yeah, so like YouTube, she did like AGT and went to semifinals and all that, didn't win, so she started a YouTube channel. She does this whole dubstep routine and stuff, but anyway, she's become pretty popular. Simply 3. So the piano guys, with the piano and cello, he plays an electric cello some of the time. So it's kind of becoming.
It's got like an amplified sound, a little electric-y sound.
Can. So the cool thing is, if you get the right one, it can sound acoustic or it can sound. I mean, you can totally rock out.
Really?
With the distortion and wah-wah. And
See, I enjoy music. I might be an anomaly. 99.9999% of humanity loves music probably above most all arts.
Right.
And it's universal. And all the things they say about music is, I believe we just talked about this before the show. Yeah. I believe in the healing power of music.
Absolutely.
Having said that, I have zero comprehension of the science behind it. Mm-hmm. I don't understand notes. I understand like 4 parts per measure, things like that. I get that when you have like the numbers like 4/4 or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I understand that a little bit just because I took some in school. I tried to do band, it didn't work out for me. But like when I hear a song, I can't tell you like why I like it. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I'm not that guy that just sits around and listens to music either. If I'm just going to sit and listen, I'll just turn the TV on or listen to talk radio. Mm-hmm. It's only if I'm driving do I really listen to music. Okay. So I feel like I'm not as versed in music as I should be.
Oh, I don't know.
But like I can tell you when we were listening to the Beatles in the car yesterday, and it's really good, but it doesn't sound the same as U2. But I can't tell you why it doesn't sound the same.
Right.
I'm a big U2 fan. A lot of you people that know me, I'm a giant. There's a U2 something around here somewhere. It has a small shrine somewhere. I move things around. Maybe I think it's in the hall. I think it's in the hall. But anyway, I'm a giant YouTube freak.
Yeah, I get it.
But I can't tell you why I like them above somebody else. I can't tell you why a Beatles song sounds one way to me and the U2 sounds. Yeah. Do you get those things? Do you understand those things?
To some extent, but that's actually pretty common. I mean, even for musicians. I mean, some of that stuff's intangible, and some of it's so subtle that it's, there's obvious differences. But yeah, we can get into the mechanics of it too. You know?
Does that play into building a violin? Or is a violin somewhat benign, somewhat?
It's kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
Violin making is pretty interesting because you better be pretty skilled in woodworking.
Yeah.
But that's not enough.
Okay.
You've got to have a musical side to you, even if you don't play. It helps if you play, but even if you don't play, and a lot of guys that make violins for a living and are better at it than me don't play, but you've got to have a sense of the music because you've got to tune the wood acoustically to accommodate the resonance of the playing.
Okay.
And so it's science, but it's also art.
Okay.
So, and there's tolerances, we're talking like 1/1000th of an inch tolerance, but then it's different on the next piece of wood because wood is different from tree to tree.
It's a living thing.
Yeah.
So
you'll two violins the same model from the same maker, and they're totally different.
Yeah.
So
what's the stupidest music question? Because you play as well. You play as well.
I do.
Do people ask you dumb requests? I'm always interested in like the weird side of things. If they were like the normal, like, hey, did you feel good? Dude? I always want to know the weird stuff. So it's like, what's the weirdest musical experience? Do you have a weird? Do you even have one?
A weird musical experience.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that one.
Yeah.
I mean,
have you been asked to make a weird instrument? And maybe not weird by my definition, but by your definition, maybe it's a little unusual request.
Yeah. I've been asked to... No, nothing weird. I've been asked to make a violin out of all Texas woods, which I haven't done. But
so that's interesting.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But there's no maple in Texas.
Yeah.
You could use some types of cedar, not like the juniper cedar that we have that we all hate, but there might be some kinds of cedar that you could use. But yeah, that'd be neat if we could figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
There's a Texas ebony you get out of Mexico, so... but yeah, I haven't had anything too weird.
Yeah.
So.
Well, social media.
I'll have to try harder.
You get no. That's fine. That's interesting that somebody wanted. Why would they want only Texas wood?
Just to say it's a Texas fiddle. I mean, this thing grew here. It never. It never left here, and it ain't leaving here.
Some sort of I guess
Texas proud.
Yeah, Texas proud type of deal.
Which that'd be kind of cool to do, but coming up with the right woods, it's got to sound good.
Yeah.
I mean, you could use mesquite, I guess, but that's a really dense wood. It's gonna be sound the same.
We being with social media and everything else that we do, and websites and all the things that go with online, everything that we do, we get people asked sometimes. If you ask me, for example, it's going to fail me right now. Again, I'll be put on the spot, but like sometimes people ask it to do things it can't do.
You must get some weird requests.
Well, like sometimes people want it to do things it can't do.
Yeah.
Or more often than this, they don't understand how much money it took for that other guy to do the thing that they now want to do.
Yeah, totally.
That's probably what happens more than anything else. So, because here's what happens. Facebook, Amazon, eBay, all these instantly recognizable websites, YouTube, they don't understand how many millions of dollars they take monthly to keep up and going.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you have someone who is not well versed in the internet. Mm-hmm. They want their website to do things. Well, Amazon does that, and it's like you realize that Amazon is it's the largest valued company in the world.
Are you Bezos or what?
Yeah, unless you're they probably have their own like security team with like guys with like Kevlar and stuff. They have. I'm sure they have like more than one plane.
Yeah,
that's how big they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They probably have more. I bet they have more money than several countries.
Which plane are we taking today?
Yeah, they have more money than several countries around the world. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. I can't make your, little shop in Waco do the same things it does for $500. It's
exactly.
It's not happening.
You have a sense of what it takes. I mean, I told you $5,000 starter for a violin. You're like, oh, that's not bad. But you'd be surprised how many people are like, I can get a violin on Amazon for $200.
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Go for it.
I call that a VSO.
What VSO?
Yeah, violin shaped object. So when you get tired of trying to make a good sound on that, come back, It
really, and I think a lot of that. I mean, some people are just cheap.
Right.
Some people just they have larger wants or expectations than their budget can afford.
Yeah.
They want it to happen, but they don't have the funds.
And that's understandable.
I've been that guy more. I've been that guy more times in my life than I have the other.
Absolutely. And I help them find, there's violins you can get that are a lot of bang for buck.
Yeah.
And so, I actually sell more violins far more than I make.
Yeah.
Because of, 30 years of teaching, I've found sources that are.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you do the Amazon thing for $100-200, it's going to discourage you.
Yeah.
So.
And then I think that there's probably switching gears into money, since we talked about money and the cost and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Someone told me that you could save people money, and even they make money.
Yeah.
All right, this is your pitch. Do your pitch.
Yeah.
Get your pitch out. What do you do? What the heck is merchant processing?
Yeah, I used to wonder the same thing. Actually, it's a perfect segue because I got into this getting mad about merchant services, taking payments for teaching violin and selling violins and doing violin repair. I mean, I used to do it full time.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of a hobby that pays. I love to do it. I do it in the off hours.
Yeah.
I have 4 students, but I used to have 47 students.
Whoa.
So, yeah, and people
Kids or all ages?
all ages. Yeah, my oldest student ever was 68.
Wow.
And my youngest was 3. So I've taught.
They have the cognitive ability even doing it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. When I started in violin, I was in the Suzuki Violin School, and there were 3-year-olds were starting out. There were 5-year-olds that were playing me under the table.
How old were you?
I was 8.
Oh, okay, you said that.
Yeah, so I was 8 years old, and there were 3-year-olds that were on my level, and 5-year-olds that were just completely unbelievable. Yeah. So if you start early enough, and you do it real incrementally, and not every kid is at 3, but.
Yeah, well, my brother, not to get back on the music, but my mom has played the piano and the organ my entire life. We always had an organ and piano. In fact, when I would go to other kids' houses and they didn't have a piano, I was like, well, why don't you have a piano? There's supposed to be a piano in every house.
Absolutely.
And honestly, as an adult, I've considered getting a piano because it doesn't. I always feel like there's like a piece of furniture missing.
Yeah.
But I don't play, and all I'll do is go by there and just pink on it.
But. Yeah, but I did the same thing. I don't play piano. I mean, I kind of mess around on it, but I got a piano.
Yeah.
Kind of for the same reason. And now several of my kids play. Elise was telling you she plays. Yeah. Well, it's just because there was one there.
Really?
So it'll end up getting used.
If I could find, we just talked about paying for a good one, but if I found the right price and I had the disposable income at that point to just do it, it's like, here's a really good deal. It's $600, and I had it. I would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I'm good at getting off the trail here. But
yeah, same here.
But
this show might be in trouble. We're both wanderers.
Yeah.
But segue back, you got mad about getting screwed over.
I did. Yeah. I mean, they promise, they tell you this is your rate, and I'm okay. Well, fine, that's my rate. I'm happy.
Yeah.
And when it's dramatically different, it kind of ticks you off,
Yeah.
So, and you call and you're on hold for an eternity, and it's just like whatever. So I actually was in a contract, and I had to pay an early termination fee to get out, but I paid it.
Yeah.
I canceled the thing, and I actually was without credit card processing for a while. I said I'm going to study this thing out.
Okay.
And found this place in Chicago, this little place, and this lady seemed pretty honest, pretty straightforward, explained all kinds of things the other guys didn't.
Yeah.
And so, it took 6 weeks of her, being patient, emails, calls, I asked her every question under the stars, and finally, okay, fine, I signed up. And it was a lot cheaper, but there was stuff that she didn't tell me about, and that really made me mad. So I called up and I was like, what in the world? And she said, well, that's federal regulations, and we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, Mary, if you'd have told me from the beginning, I'd be okay, but you didn't tell me. So I decided I'm going to solve this thing. And at the time, there's a downturn in the economy, and let's face it, when folks are tight on the budget, what's going to go? The electric's going to stay on.
Yeah.
We're still going to grocery shop.
Yeah.
Johnny's violin lessons are.
Yeah, that's a pain.
That's the one thing bad about working in music is it's an elective. Unless you're playing or singing for folks, and that actually in downturn in the economy, sometimes you do better Because people need,
a release.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they always say that alcohol and cigarette and gambling, the sins, the vices, in bad comedies, those always go up.
Is that right?
Because they're escaping.
Same dynamic.
They're escaping a lot of times.
Yeah. But Johnny's violin lessons,
yeah,
they're gone.
Well, not to stop you, but now with merchant services, don't remember where you were, but with merchant services, you're always in need, and with marketing, it's quite a bit true. Yeah, if there's a downturn, you'll lose the ones who are on the fringe. You'll lose anyway. But the smart companies will sometimes spend more.
They're gonna double down. They need you all the more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They need more firepower because now it doesn't matter. They're expecting X return on X investment for their marketing dollar. Well, they'll pay more and absorb a lesser percentage to get a larger total number.
And it totally makes sense. It's smart.
Yeah.
And
keep going. I didn't mean.
No, that's good. So I told my wife. I was so mad. I told my wife. I said, you know what? If I ever find a merchant service company that's straight shooting, they have reasonable prices, they do what they say they're going to do, and they keep it that way, and they're available for customer service, I'm going to go work for them.
Right.
And I'll never forget, my wife, her back was turned, and she whips around. She goes, "You promise?" Because we kind of needed to change. The lesson thing was,
she was even fatigued by it. Huh?
Yeah, because, you have 20% of your students drop off because, that'll hurt a little bit. You know, and you're looking at saying it's going to be 40%. I mean, how bad is the economy going to be for how long? So she turns around and and says, "You promise?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, absolutely." Because I was totally sure I'd never find such a thing. It didn't exist. Yeah. And so 6 months of studying, I said, I'm a details guy. And you have to be in merchant services. But I'm the guy that carves violins to tolerances of 1/1000th of an inch. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm the guy that's telling the student, no, you know what? Let's put a tuner up against that. You're 3 cents off. So.
Do you have like one of those? What's that tool that's got like the micrometer or whatever, where it measures the grain of the wood? What is that? I can't think what it's called.
Yeah. Well, micrometer.
That's right.
Yeah, and then we have calipers and stuff like this. So.
You're that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you tap it and test it to tune the scrape a little off and tap it again. So, yeah, I'm a details guy.
So if I'm your client, which I am, but if I'm your client, you're going to find that detail as well to save that
exactly
0.5%, whatever.
And the challenge has been learning in merchant services to hand you a violin that sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Without talking to you about, we took 1/1000th of an inch off this little spot, and you don't give a hoot. You just want to see how the thing sounds and what it looks like. You care because it produced something, but you just want what it produced.
Yeah, the same thing goes back towards you. For me, like with social media, you'll tell me all the time, you're like,
I don't get it.
Just do the thing.
Do your thing. Make it work. You do.
And I feel the same way. I feel that way about merchant services. I mean, that's why I pay a guy for insurance stuff. That's why I pay a guy for investment stuff. That's why I pay a guy for. That's why I pay an auto mechanic.
Yeah.
I do not possess, even though I'm a guy, I'm supposed to be like, I do not pass the God-given talent to fix a motor vehicle or any kind of motorized object.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't have it.
Yeah.
When I was coming down the assembly line in heaven, they didn't install that part on me. I didn't get that firmware update.
You and me both. Yeah.
So I got my guy at a certain shop that I won't mention here because I don't want to sound prejudiced. But I go to my guy, and that's the guy.
That is what it is.
If he says fix the thing, I fix the thing.
Yeah. Well, and that's why you're our marketing guy. I don't get it. It's
yeah. Screensaver.
But anyway, so
I'll hit the screensaver. I'll hit the screensaver.
There you go. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
So if people didn't watch the video, if you're watching it, listening to it, we're recording this on the Mac, and if you sit, still for a while, the screensaver comes on. And every once in a while, I'll nudge up here during the show. And everyone will see me do it.
I didn't catch
Well, we got to talking. I never did nudge up here and nudge it. So the screensaver went off.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, so I was like, absolutely, I
Right.
promise, because I was sure that no such thing existed.
Yeah.
And but I'm a details guy, so I studied the thing out, and I got to where I was basically a merchant services private investigator. Like I knew all the tricks of the
Right.
trade, all the little catchphrases. Oh, I know what that means. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And so there's over 1,000 providers in North America. And I didn't get to all of them, but I'm sad to say. But
Yeah.
I was pretty thorough. I
Yeah.
talked to hundreds.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, 200 probably.
That's dogmatic. I mean, you were like,
Oh, I was going to crack this thing. I was going to crack it. I was going to learn it inside and out. Nobody was going to have me again.
yeah.
And maybe, just maybe I would, but I didn't think I was going to go into it as far as a job. But so it got to the point though where I was a private investigator, and they'd slip up within a minute or two, and I'd say, okay, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
And so I learned sort of the tricks of the trade, and unfortunately, that trade is complex enough that there's a lot of companies, a lot of reps that are kind of using that to build big profit pockets, and everybody's got to make a living, but they don't have to take advantage of you. So eventually, I got to a processor that I couldn't stump them.
Really?
I threw them every curveball I could, and I wasn't stumping them. And in fact, the only thing I was stumping them on is they didn't know the answer to some of my questions. I was educated enough
That you had
6 months into it, 200 processors later, that I knew my stuff.
Yeah, and so like, we won't get too in depth with this, but my wife has health problems, and we're managing the problem. We're working the problem.
Yeah.
And I've learned more about her parts
Yeah.
than I ever thought I would live in my life.
Yeah.
And it amazes me. It amazes me how professionals. You reach a point, and I'm starting to get there on some issues where like I've superseded the knowledge of the doctor.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like,
It's a little shocking.
and I get a little discouraged. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
You okay, man?
Yeah.
You should have this answer now. Don't feel so good about this.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's some people that have been helping us from the beginning that honestly we've outgrown their help.
Yeah.
That's not to belittle them. Don't misunderstand me.
No.
I'm not belittling them at all.
Yeah.
But we've outgrown some of their help.
Absolutely.
Not because the problem grew, but just because our knowledge went past that person's knowledge base.
Absolutely.
So I use that to embolden what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Hell of a lot of research if you did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah. Yeah, and I you've got to really, if you want to win in something, you have to. I mean, if you're just gonna go to whatever doc you happen to get, and and it's a good doc, but I mean, you've really got, if you want to be sure you're gonna win, you've got to look at it from every angle.
Yeah.
You've got to learn about it. You've got to know how to ask the educated questions and be able to make the right choices. And it's really, I mean, in a case like yours, there's like serious motivation for that.
Sure.
I don't know what. I really don't fully understand. I mean, maybe none of us totally understand ourselves. It's like, why? Why did I go for that long and that depth? But I'm kind of that way. If I get on something, I'm not giving up till I crack it.
I have told you. I think superficially, if I was to say this and people didn't know us, people would laugh at me. I've told you for the longest time, you and I are more alike than you think. Now, you're very conservative. I mean, your Christianity and faith is very big a part of your life, huge part of your life, and you're a little more reserved.
Right.
Now, I have a deep faith of my own, but you're going to hear a four-letter word out of me, a dirty joke. I'm a little more. I'm that guy's going to slap you on the back, and you're a little more reserved. But you get past that superficiality.
Yeah.
I think there's quite a bit of tenacity that we share.
Absolutely.
It just, you might go this way and I go that way with it. That's the only difference.
Yeah. And don't let the reserved little skin.
I know. I ain't messing with you.
I got.
Oh.
I got a whole nother side to me.
I know. I've just seen like little previews. We've talked about certain subjects. I can see like a little window in there. I can see the pit bull.
I wear more than one hat.
Yeah, I can see the pit bull every once in a while.
Yeah,
I see the pit bull.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's there, man. I get it.
So eventually I got to this processing company that I could not find any loopholes. I couldn't find, they seemed to be pretty honest. They gave me the answers that I already knew to be the answers, you know. And but they kept having to put me up a level. Well, let me let you talk to my manager. Let me let you talk to my manager.
Yeah.
Because I was asking pretty educated questions at this point, and not settling for the canned answer. And before it was done, I was talking to the VP, and so I tested him. I was like, all right, Dave, except it wasn't Dave at the time, it was Mr. Celano, but all right, Mr. Celano, so that makes a lot of sense. I understand, the mechanics of how we're saving merchants money.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be very competitive, and it was true, it was. So here's the deal. Let's do that, but if somebody's really getting taken advantage of and we can save them a ton of money and make them happy and we can make buku bucks ourselves.
Yeah.
How about that, too? A little test light went on,
Yeah.
And there was a long pause.
Yeah.
And he said, well, Sam, if that's how you feel, I'm afraid you're not my guy.
Oh.
And I said, Mr. Celano, you passed the test. And we just both cracked up laughing. We were both testing each other. And that gave me the confidence. Because I already had a good local reputation. I had a lot of friends. I had customers.
Yeah.
If I'm going to launch into a new business,
Yeah.
I don't want to mess that up. I'm telling what I think is the truth, and then corporate behind me is messing me up. So that gave me the confidence. Maybe I could work with these guys, but more importantly, I'm going to sign up with them for merchant services.
Right.
So I came home. I told my wife, "Hey, Case, I found an awesome merchant service company. It's great."
Yeah.
And she flips around.
Yeah.
Says, "Great. So did you sign up as an agent?" And I said, "What?" "No, I signed up for merchant services."
Yeah.
And she said, "You promised." I was like, And that's how it started.
You started in your agent.
Yeah. So, long story. But.
No. It's a good story. It speaks to, one, you're a researcher.
Yeah.
You're a researcher on steroids.
Yeah.
Detailed guy on steroids. And you found the right fit.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
So, having said that, a couple last points, and then we'll get out of here. So, you being a merchant service guy, and you're a business person, you deal with other businesses. You are in the world, okay. But also, I know your faith and stuff. There's also, you have some boundaries for your faith and stuff.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you do that I think is clever and I thought was funny, and we've joked about it, but I'm going to go ahead and put it out there.
All right.
When you talk via text,
Yeah.
I don't know if you still do it.
Yeah.
I think you still do.
Yeah.
You communicate via GIFs a lot. Do you still do that?
Oh, yeah.
So, what's funny to me is, like, if I know you, I know how, there is a line, but, you have a line. Like, there is, I don't know how to put it. I don't know how to put it. I can't speak for you. I don't know how to say it. But, you don't dive into pop culture.
Right.
A lot. You don't go to the movies a lot and play all the video games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But still, you know how to walk the line, so you still talk to all these people.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
That's a great question. I don't know. I'm a people person.
Okay.
And my dad, growing up, it was important to relate to everybody.
Okay.
And so that was kind of really inculcated into us. And so even if it's not something I'm immersed in, I kind of get it, and I want to learn enough about it to be able to relate to it.
Yeah.
And I like a very diverse group, and I don't know. I see the humor in it.
Oh yeah, it's funny.
And so I don't even think about it. It's not like I make a conscious decision.
It's just sort of who you are.
Yeah, it's just
Well, I just think.
Okay, I'll tell you. This will give you a glimpse into how it works.
Okay.
My grandpa, my dad's dad, and I'm this way. But I try to watch it. My dad's dad was really a people person. Got along with everybody. Didn't matter what your background was. And he was first generation American, and but he could relate to anybody. But it was embarrassing being with him because, you'd go to a Chinese restaurant, and he'd start accidentally, without knowing it, he'd start talking like the Chinese waiter,
Really?
just taking on. He would so identify
Absorb.
with whoever.
Yeah.
And my kids and my wife laugh, because they'll hear me on the phone with a customer. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'll be on with a customer and maybe they've got a deep Southern drawl, and I'll start talking like and then I'll talk to somebody who's maybe they're from New York or something. Pretty soon I'm talking like them, and I can pretty much wear any hat.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, but it's so
Well, I find I'm so immersed because of my job and just my own desire. I mean, look at the behind you. I'm immersed in popular culture and movies and video games. I mean, half. Me and DJ have supposed to be Cowboys together, and 50% of our conversations are about football and video games, not like work stuff.
Yeah.
Work stuff is like a 50% or even a third of what we talk about.
Right.
Most of the time, it's football or video game stuff. We play different games, but we still talk about video game stuff. So when I find somebody I know somewhat what your kind of like quote unquote home life is. Yeah. But you wouldn't know. I wouldn't know that we don't watch TV at home. No, we don't go to the movies. Yeah. I would never know.
Wow.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I'm shocked by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just grew up that way. But I think if you play violin and you make violins and you live out in the country and you worked in veterinary medicine and you used to be a printer and you used to be a music teacher and now you're a merchant service guy and I've done some crazy stuff. So
horses are in there too.
Yeah, horse training.
Yeah.
Driven a team of horses, plowed a field.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I plowed more than one field.
Sure.
Grew up bucking hay, so
It's a lot of work, man. A lot of work. All right, we always end the show with this. Do you have something new and big that you can tell us about on the horizon? Anything new and big coming up?
In the biz?
Yeah, anything.
So, so one thing I'd want to mention quick, and this is not so new, but it's been the last couple of years, is I never wanted to be a captive agent. So we do not represent one processor. We represent over 60 so that we bring the best fit for customers. Yeah. Beyond that, we've got some pretty cool stuff that's brand new to us. We've got where you can finance your customers. Maybe it's a big purchase. You don't have to pay the credit card processing fees because you can get instant approval for them. They just do an online application.
Wow.
And they can make a purchase right there on the spot, so you can seal the deal, and you don't have to pay anything to get it done. They pay a small interest fee themselves, but they can pay it off over 4 years if they want to.
Okay.
And then lights out, guys.
Oh, we lost the bulb. That's probably like a good luck thing. You tell us about the future, and the bulb go. It has to be a good luck thing, right?
It's a sign of change. Changes are coming.
Yeah, right? That's a good thing.
So
interesting.
That's funny.
That's a good luck thing.
The other thing is, so we have lines of credit now, short-term loans for businesses and stuff like that, up to $250,000 on a line of credit, 24-hour approval too. So lots of cool stuff. Payroll services.
So he's a man of many hats and talents.
Yeah. Well, so is this guy. Well, I want to say Social Media Cowboys rocks.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing, and we're gonna be spending more money. So.
Oh, good. Well, I can't top that. Show over now. No, tell them how to get a hold of you, and then we'll close the show.
Absolutely. So you can call or text us, 254-284-0111. If you want to talk to Sam the Beacon Man, that's extension 1. And Sam at beaconpaysolutions.com, or go to beaconpaysolutions.com. Look for our ads on Facebook and know that it's Social Media Cowboys. It's doing such a good job.
Yeah.
And call, text, email.
Last thing that'll be said when you say this, the show's over. I'm not going to say another word. Give them your tagline.
It's a dark world out there in the credit card processing industry. Stop freaking. Call Beacon.